Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another episode of 5 Minute Major Radio. Dave here, along with my broadcast partner in crime, Matt Master Giovanni. Matt, how's it going?
It's going well, man. It's going well.
It's going. So yeah, some things have happened since the last time we were both with you, our esteemed listeners. A couple big things. Hockey is back, obviously, with the rookie game that happened last Wednesday. Last Wednesday, a week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, a week ago. There's been some key RFA signings, and of course, the preseason is underway. But we're going to start off with Matt was our esteemed colleague in the field, you could say, Wednesday night, who attended the
Boots
rookie
on the
game.
ground.
Yeah, boots on the ground, who attended the rookie game at the good old PPL Center in Allentown, Pennsylvania. So, Matt, why don't you give us your thoughts of the atmosphere and how the game went and who stood out to you and all, etc.
I think that for me, it was basically who I thought would stood out. Guys like I believe it's German Rubstov.
The
Rubstov.
germ. The germ.
Uh, him, Joel Farabee, Morgan Frost, Phil Myers is a guy that still he played in that game. He's still kind of learning the ropes, but he played well. Who else? I mean,
Isaac Radcliffe.
a lot of those, yeah.
Morgan Frost.
Ratcliffe looked good. I said Morgan Frost, didn't I?
You might have.
Yeah, but yeah, I went into it. I went into it expecting to see the guys who I wanted to see, who have been the quote unquote talk of the town of the prospect pool for the Flyers. The game was it was. I could say that it was very fun to watch live hockey again, even though it was a pretty low key rookie game. But just hearing all the sounds that come with watching hockey in person, the sticks, the skates, the puck, the glass, seeing my main man, Brady, Melvin, the Phantoms mascot, just the atmosphere itself, just being back in the hockey arena just felt good. Felt like I was at home. Felt like life was complete again. And then the Flyers blew a 3-goal lead and lost in a shootout.
It's 3-1 lead. 3-1 lead.
Yeah. So
It wasn't 3-0. It was 3-1, but still,
they let me enjoy
the rookie Flyer of Flyered.
Yeah, they let me enjoy it for a little bit before they went back to their rascally ways of blowing a lead and losing in a shootout. But again, it's just a rookie game, but a lot of those guys for both teams, Islanders and the Flyers, it's a chance to show their stuff. And obviously, I'm sure there were some Flyers brass looking on from, I believe I might have seen one of them. I don't know, it could have been Fletcher, but I'm not sure. But he was standing broodingly in the doorway of one of the suites, I believe, or offices in the PPL Center. But it was cool, just like I said, it was just cool being back. It's preseason for the fans too, so had to get a cheesesteak, a couple beers, just take it all in, get loose, and just watch some hockey. But yeah, it was impressive to see what some of these guys do. I was really psyched to see the first combo of 3-on-3 players for the Flyers in overtime was Farabee, Frost, and Myers, and I forgot how awesome 3-on-3 is too because I hadn't seen it in so long. Oh man, it was nonstop action. I forgot how awesome it was, but then they had, I was so angry too because they had so many good chances, and I was sitting on the end where the Flyers could have scored too. Oh my god, I was so pissed. I was just waiting for someone to go in and do something unreal, and I was going to get hyped, jump out of my seat, be excited for a game that doesn't really matter, but it was hockey. So what a great experience just being back, getting warmed up, the fandom and the fan and me getting warmed up again, and it was just I'm ready for the regular season now, man.
That we both are. My thoughts, I only was able to catch half the game because I did work a little bit late. But from what I saw, I really enjoyed the line of Morgan Frost centering Isaac Radcliffe and Joel Farabee. And I thought to myself, that could be a Flyers line in the near future and be very, very dangerous. Of course, Philip Myers looked good. Igor Zamula stood out to me. He's kind of been the next, like, Philip Myers, per se, who Hexall discovered last year, undrafted rookie, and we signed him to a contract. And Felix Sandstrom really stood out for me in net personally. He definitely, at times, the Islanders rookies carried the play. And when the Flyers had that lead, Sandstrom made some pretty important key saves. One thing that stood out to me negatively was the play of Kirill Ustimenko when he first got put in net. He's our good old Belarusian goalie who we drafted not last year, but 2 years ago. He's obviously penciled in for the Reading Royals in the ECHL, and rightfully so. I mean, once he settled into the game, he looked okay, but you could clearly tell that he's not ready for the American Hockey League yet. He needs some more seasoning and more developing. And also, already as it is, the AHL goaltending situation is going to be crammed. You're going to have Alex Lyon, Felix Sandstrom, and possibly JF Berube all in the Lehigh Valley with the Phantoms. So it's going to be really interesting. All in all, even though the Flyers did lose in the shootout, it was still good to have hockey on my laptop screen, streaming that, playing NHL 20 at the same time, back to multitasking like I do all the time. But yeah, it was just essentially copy what Matt said. It was just good to have hockey back. Then going forward into that, the preseason got underway with camp starting up. Before Flyers camp got underway, Ivan Provorov signed his new contract. And a couple days into camp, Travis Konechny signed his new deal. We'll touch on those contracts a little bit later in the episode after we kind of sum up the preseason so far. But couple days of camp got going. The Flyers, of course, then had their first preseason game Monday night at the Wells Fargo Center yet again against the New York Islanders. I was there in person in my season ticket seats. Humble brag, not a big deal. And it was just, again, I walked in, I took a picture of the ice and said, honey, I'm home. So that's kind of how it feels like. It was just nice to be back in the Wells Fargo Center again, said hi to my ticket rep, kind of did the whole handshake, hug, that whole thing. Shout out to Alex Amodi. I know you'll be listening later. But good, just good. Our good friend Stavi from our Beerly team Dump and Change, I'll give a shout out, C2 champs. Met up with me down at the Wells Fargo Center. It was just good to catch up and watch live hockey again at the game. Matt, I'm sure you got a chance to catch it on TV. But overall in that game, it was a pretty mixed lineup, I would say. It was pretty much, there was a couple of veterans, and there was a majority of the players were some kids who got sent back to juniors today or got released from their amateur tryout contracts. And then, of course, you had Brian Elliott and Alex Lyon were your two goalies. All in all, is from my viewpoint of Monday night's game, was that Kevin Hayes, everyone who doubted him when they signed him, he showed everyone why the Flyers went out and not only acquired him and gave up that 5th-round pick to the Winnipeg Jets, but then went ahead and signed him to that lengthy contract. And he played on a line with JVR and Jake Voracek. And instantly my thought went, that's your second line to start this season. They were a fantastic line. JVR, of course, got a goal. I'm not sure if Hayes got any assists, but his play along the boards, face-offs, and just overall battle, he really showed that he can dominate out there at times. Overall, it was a back-and-forth game. It was, Islanders scored first, and the Flyers tied up with JVR's goal, and then they just fell behind the 8 ball. It was a preseason game. They ended up losing 3-1 due to an empty netter. Chris Stewart did not have that great of a game. He's currently a veteran physical presence who played over in England last year. He is a 10-year NHL veteran up until last year. He's on a PTO contract right now with the Flyers. His real only highlight of the game was that fight he had where he fought the Islanders player who blew him up with a heavy hit because he had his head down because he was dumb. Other than that, Chris Stewart was not impressive at all, and Chuck Fletcher, do not sign him or else I will find you, and I'll be very angry. But Matt, do you have any thoughts on Monday night's preseason game?
Um, I think the first thing I want to say is that I think this goes for both of us. Our thoughts for these preseason games have to be taken with a grain of salt by those who are listening. I think everyone kind of knows that, where these guys are pretty much here to basically knock off the rust from the summer months, get back to the swing of the game, all that stuff. But I mean, I think it's extremely early for any sort of overreaction in any sort of
Very
aspect of the
true.
Flyers play.
Very true.
But for Monday's game, I mean, kind of, kind of shitty. Excuse my language on both sides of special teams. For both teams, the Islanders were 0 for 5 on the power play, and the Flyers were 0 for 4 on the power play.
Good penalty kills, though. So that's the good thing. The
I was
penalty
gonna
kill
say,
already looked better.
Yeah, PK was good for both
Kevin
teams,
Hayes really stood out there, too, on the penalty kill as well.
And it's just like one of those things where it just seemed like Flyers were kind of flat at times. I didn't really watch too much of the game on Monday, but from what I did see, the Flyers outshot the Islanders by 10 shots, 26-16, and scored 1 goal. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say besides that. Where again, it was good to get a little first taste in Hayes. I did like what I saw from him. He was kind of a quiet game, but it seemed like he did what he needed to do. I will say that I'm not the biggest fan of his whole wear a visor but don't even have it cover my face look.
Oh, you don't like the tilt?
What's the point of the visor if it's going to be above your forehead and not even protect your face?
Eye points, bro. Come on. You play hockey. You know how it is. It's all about the style, man.
I'd rather go no visor at all instead of having it just sit up on my head. But
you know why he probably wears it? It's because his mother's like, Kevin, please wear a visor. And he goes, okay, Ma, but I'm going to tilt it up all the way. She's like, I don't care. At least I know it's on your helmet. So that way, in theory, if need be, you can tilt it down to cover your eyes.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, other than that, that's really only kind of the only thing I have to say about that stuff. And then them losing the preseason wasn't exciting. But
it's like,
it's preseason, so
they lost. Claude Giroux, Sean Couturier, the majority of the lineup wasn't playing. I'm seeing a lot of kids trying to evaluate their play. Joel Farabee looked good Monday night. Just needed to work on some finishing touches, but he, very vicious on the forecheck. Just needs to get his feet going a little bit more. But other than that, 3-1 preseason loss. Who cares? As long as the players you want to go see and the players you're watching to see come beginning of the season in October, they're not playing bad, then you have nothing to worry about. And overall, the players who I wanted to go see, I saw what I needed to see. Then touching on last night's preseason game up in Long Island at the Nassau Coliseum, where I think about probably less than 30 New York Islanders fans attended said game. Flyers, of course, drop another game. They lose. What was the final?
3-2 in overtime.
3-2 at OT loss last night. I should have known that because I actually watched the majority of the game last night. Last night's game was a majority. It was Phantoms and junior kids with, I think, it was Philip Myers, Travis Sanheim, Michael Raffel, Scott Lawton. Those are really your only NHL regulars. German Rubtsov played back-to-back game. He played Monday night's game and then also played last night. Rubtsov also had a very impressive game in the rookie game. We forgot to touch on him real quick. Last night was just, Ali Vigneault, new Flyers head coach, I don't know if you heard, said that he really liked his game in the rookie game and Monday night's game, and he wanted to put him in a back-to-back to see how he would handle things. And they're playing him at center, which a lot of us, I think us included, thought that his future in this league would be at wing. So that's where he played last year with the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, and there's 14 games before he got hurt going forward. Again, last night he didn't get any points up on the board. He should have gotten assists on Maxim Shusko's goal because he kind of made the goal happen, but the play got broken up, and the scorekeeper said, "Screw it, you're not even going to get an assist in preseason hockey." but he looked really good so far. Igor Zamula had another strong game. Things going on that front. Overall, it was a kid-laden filled lineup. They dropped 3-2 in overtime after having, I believe, a 2-0 lead in that game last night. Correct, Matt? Or am I off? Or was it a 3-1 lead? A 2-1 lead?
Yeah,
I know they're up 2-0. I could be just butchering myself right now.
It was 1-0 until the third period. It was 1-0 Flyers until the third period, and then the Islanders scored 3 unanswered goals. Oh wait, sorry, the Islanders tied it early in the third. Flyers untied it right after, and then Eberle tied it with like 2 minutes left in the game in regulation, and then the Islanders scored less than a minute in overtime. It looks like.
Yep, and just do you have any thoughts on the game last time, Matt? I don't want to hog the microphone here.
Carter Hart had a
Carter Hart. Carter's 14 for 14. Sort of. Luckily he doesn't take the loss. I guess an unofficial shutout, but Carter Hart was impressive last night.
That was one of the more entertaining things about last night's game. I mean, it was again, seeing overtime again was cool, but they still lost. But seeing Hart play for the first time this preseason was exciting. He's obviously hopefully poised for a big year, his first full season with the team. But yeah, he stopped 14 shots out of 14, right? Yeah. So, but I mean, again, it's good that stopped all of them, had a quote unquote shutout, however you want to look at it. But again, nothing to be overly excited about because he split time with was it Alex Lyon last night?
It was JF Uribe.
Yeah, JF Uribe, who looked like garbage at point and was giving up the worst rebounds and gave up a pretty brutal rebound to lose the game for the Flyers. But what are you going to do?
JF Ruby is probably going to be number 4 or 5 on the depth chart for Flyers goalies this season. Yeah. So I doubt we'll see him in the NHL this year.
One thing I will point out, I'm looking at the box score from last night, is that Travis Sanheim and Robert Haig both got big minutes last night. Sanheim played almost 27 minutes, and Haig played just over 20. So they're definitely getting their legs back underneath them. Scott Lawton played 15, just about 16 minutes. Mikhail Vorobiev played 17 minutes. Nate Prosser played 17. So but the two that stand out to me, I think, are Sanheim and Haig getting those big minutes right away to get them conditioned and back into game shape come the regular season in 2 weeks now, 2.5 weeks.
October 4th over in the Czech Republic against the Chicago
Blackhawks, as they say. So
very true.
You gotta get them going, get them loose, get them ready to for that 82 game grind. So definitely got to get your reps in now. But that's all I have for last night, and that's all there has been so far for preseason action. But tomorrow, we can touch on tomorrow's game if you want. The Flyers are back at the Wells Fargo Center, I believe. Yes. And they will face the Boston Bruins in another preseason tilt. And kind of hard to say what's going to happen because I feel like the lineups won't come out until tomorrow.
Yeah, so tomorrow morning they'll get released.
So, but it'll be fun. That's what I can. That's my prediction is that it'll be fun.
Fun.
Hopefully, it'll be fun. But
yeah, and then
another home game. Can I say something quick? So
yes, sir.
One thing I will say is that it is nice to see the fresh faces on the Flyers bench. So, and I'm hoping that the three-headed monster of the coaches that we have this season will be an X factor and or a catalyst in getting the team over the hump and hopefully having them be a lot more successful than they were this past season.
I agree. Why have one head coach when you can have 3 head coaches? Ooh.
Exactly. Just like, what is it, Lay's? You just can't have one.
You just can't have one. Or you just can't have one glass of Pink Whitney.
No free ads. No free ads.
Sorry. Sorry. It's just too good. But yeah, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. at the good old Wells Fargo Center. We will not be there. I had to give my tickets away because I had to work. But the 5-Minute Major Radio will be in the house for Saturday evening's tilt against the New York Rangers. Capo Caco's potential first appearance to the Wells Fargo Center. So yeah, and then after this Saturday, that's when they head on the road. They have the 23rd up in Boston against the Bruins again. Then they have the 26th against the New York Rangers, and then they go over to Europe, to Switzerland, for the 30th. They play Lausanne. I can't pronounce. Swiss is hard for me. American. But they play
teams.
They play a preseason game in Switzerland against a Switzerland team on the 30th of September, and of course that leads into October 4th, the season opener in the Czech Republic against the Chicago Blackhawks. But before we move on to the recent RFA signings both for the Flyers and the rest of the league, the Flyers, they made their first cuts of training camp. The following players have been returned to their junior teams. Igor Zamula, who's going back to the Calgary in the WHL. Mason Millman's going back to Saginaw of the OHL. Wyatt Wiley's going back to Everett in the Western Hockey League. And Igor Serduk is going back to Victoriaville in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. And then these following players were released from their amateur tryouts. Max Golod, Golod. It's not Gould. Ben McCartney, Sean Comrie, and Mika Steer. So yeah, the players who were sent back to juniors were just kind of, I'm surprised by Zamula being sent down so early. I definitely thought that he would have gone back to juniors eventually. Just maybe they would have given him one more look. Even also Wyatt Wiley. He's going to be turning 20 years old this season. I'm surprised the Flyers didn't sign him to his ELC and therefore have him be able to go to the Phantoms. But maybe they want him to have one more year junior to kind of show his stuff off. And then obviously sign him at some point during the season and then have him come to the Phantoms starting of next year. Matt, any comments about the players from the first set of cuts?
Not really. I think you said everything that could be said. A few of those guys obviously still have more room to develop and get better in order to have a chance at cracking the NHL or even the AHL squad in the Phantoms. But yeah, I think it's just they need more time in the oven to get crispier. Is crispier a word? Yeah,
crispier is a word. They need to rise a little bit more in the oven.
Yeah. They need to get set in the fridge. They need to let the yeast rise. And you gotta just. It's almost like barbecue, just low and slow. Just
low and slow.
Just let it happen. Be patient.
Makes the best ribs.
And then the end result will be extremely good. So yeah, I just compared a hockey player to a rack of ribs.
Or brisket. Take your pick.
Whatever you want. But yeah, I mean, the guys on the tryout too. I don't have anything to say about them. It was cool to see them, but they're gone at this point. So
Sean Comrie apparently is a distant cousin of Mike Comrie, the
ex-NHL
player who married Hillary Duff.
Ooh.
That's kind of a fun fact I had about Sean Comrie, but he didn't really stand out to me at all. But yeah, we can move on now. There was some RFA signings have gone down. Two very important for the Philadelphia Flyers. I don't know, Matt. I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you checked Twitter recently, but the Flyers signed TK and Provy. I'm not sure if you've seen enough of the Flyers' tweets that they signed TK and Provy.
I did not know that.
Yes, of course. Ivan Provorov got signed last Thursday to a 6-year contract worth $6.75 million. Not too shabby. And then, of course, Travis Konechny on Monday afternoon signed another 6-year contract worth $5.5 million. I'm just going to be short and sweet with both of these, Matt. Well done, Chuck Fletcher. You got the job done. You signed both of them to numbers that I personally am a fan of. It wasn't a gross overpayment. There's a little bit of a payment in there where you're expecting where they are to project. But overall, it's a great contract. You got them both extended for 6 years. So they're there. They're now part of your core. Travis Konechny, $5.5 million, has been one of the best 5-on-5 scorers in the league his 2 seasons that he's been with the team. Obviously, if he can get continued ice time and consistent ice time with Sean Couturier and Claude Giroux on that top line, look out. I know on this podcast I did say it, that Travis Konechny would be a 30-goal scorer this year. So everyone's got to mark that down and keep that noted. I know, Matt, you recorded it when I said it. And Ivan Provorov, what's there not to love? He hasn't missed an entire game in his 3-year career so far, played in 82 games all season long. Been your number one defenseman, and he's played like your number one defenseman the past 3 years, except for last year we had a bit of a bumpy road. But overall than that, he's been your number one defenseman.
Last season.
Yeah, bumpy roads happen every once in a while. Look at Claude Giroux had bumpy roads when he first started. So did Sean Couturier.
Yeah.
So
I
it's
drove on a bumpy road today.
We drive on Pennsylvania roads are very bumpy to begin with.
Oh yeah, it happens to the rest of us.
Exactly, but at the end of the day, every single Flyer is now signed to a contract through this season. They are done. Contracts are finished. Both the players who are important part of this core are signed, and I am very happy about it. Matt, take it away. I don't know what else more I can say. They're good contracts. Like, it wasn't really a bit of an overpayment. It's kind of the numbers that you and I talked about in our earlier shows in the summer of what we think they could get. I'm happy. I'm happy.
Yeah, I can't really say much that hasn't already been said. Provorov, I think I would call him personally. I'd say he's our number one defenseman at this point, and he got paid and he got signed like he is. I like that deal a lot. I don't really see any problems with it. Konechny, I got worried there for a second. I'm not gonna lie. There was something that came out. I forget who it was from, but it was just kind of swirling around Twitter, where it was the team was kind of basing what Konechny should get off of his time on ice, which is BS because everyone in their right mind knew that Dave Haxtell did not utilize the young players in the right way, i.e. ice time. And ice time itself doesn't reflect anything, I think, because, what can you do if you're not on the ice for as much as you should be? But aside from that, I am happy, and I'm also relieved that both of them are signed. Like you said, both are good deals, and there's really nothing to worry about at this point, at least for personnel-wise, signing-wise for the Flyers. It's just a matter of playing out these preseason games, everyone getting their legs back under them, knocking the rust off. Any cliche saying you could say to get ready for a new season of hockey, throw that in there, and it'll pertain to these guys and everyone else in the league. It's good to have everyone back, and
yes, it is.
I'm excited to see what the Flyers can do. Hopefully, we'll see Konechny and Provorov in the next couple games, maybe even tomorrow or Saturday. But that's all I got for that.
I know the Flyers have already announced that their plan is to have TK's first game be Saturday night against the New York Rangers. So that'll be very important to see. Might have to rock the TK jersey that night. You never know. I do have a plethora of them to pick through.
I don't know. It's going to be like 90 degrees, I think, so might not do that.
Well, we'll throw it on when we get in the stadium. We'll
All
tailgate. Right. We'll enjoy some adult beverages out in the parking lot before we head inside to save some money. And then we'll throw on the sweaters once we get inside. I want the crisp air of the hockey arena.
I can dig it.
For sure. Other than that, besides the Flyers RFA signings, a couple other ones happen around the league.
we got to go around the league.
Around the
Segment
league.
around the league.
Let's see. Let me go to teams here. Um, excuse me. Most recent, yesterday, the Vancouver Canucks signed Brock Besser to I'm scrolling. There he is. To a 3-year bridge deal worth $5.875 million. Again, short and sweet. Matt, if Brock Besser can stay healthy and keep on scoring goals the way he's been scoring goals, come when he's an RFA again in 22-23, he's gonna get paid.
Yes, sir. Barely even know her.
Yeah, and Vancouver is looking like a pretty good team this season. They might make a chance out in the West, especially because that Pacific Division is a little weak. I like I like the contract. It could have been a little bit longer, but bridge deal, player betting on himself, saying, you know what, I'm gonna give myself 3 years of this deal, and then he's only 22, so he'll be 25 when this current contract expires. So he'll be in the middle of his prime. And who knows, by then, by 22-23, we could be saying, oh, Brock Besser, 50 goal scorer. And then ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching.
True. Yeah, I mean, I think you said all that could be said. Definitely a good deal, and Besser hopefully knows personally that he's got to up now and earn the big money when the time comes. So we'll see how that unfolds. Let's see, what's our next one here?
Oh, I think we're going up north. We were already up north. We were up northwest.
Are we going
We
to
were up
6?
northwest. Now we're going up northeast a little bit here to go to Toronto.
6.
Yeah, and Matt, if you want to take this one, so I took the Brock Besser one. Floor is yours, my man.
All right. Well, the Mitch Marner saga finally ended on Friday. Sorry. He agreed to a 6-year, hold on, I forgot how to speak here. 6-year, $65.358 million contract with an average annual value of $10.893 million. So back up the Brinks truck for my man Mitch Marner here, because he just got paid. And I think every single Toronto Maple Leafs fan took a huge sigh of relief after getting arguably their best player back. Obviously, I'm reading an article right now. Marner he actually did reject offer sheets from other teams.
Yeah, I heard he rejected 2 of them.
So, but you figured it was going to get done. It was only a matter of when and how much money. But I mean, like, it was one of those things where I feel like the fans themselves would have just kind of lost faith in more the management than Marner himself if he hadn't signed before the start of the season, because obviously you want a guy like him ready to go for the season. You want him healthy. You want him locked up for the next. I mean, they have him locked up for the next 6 years now. So, but
till 25-26, he'll be a UFA.
Yeah, that's a long way away. But like I said, the Marner saga is over. He's locked up for the next 6 years, and I'd pencil him in for another. I'd say he's gonna get at least 80 points.
Now I'm thinking, man, he's coming off 94 points. He had his agent drag him through the mud this summer and really kind of, hurt his reputation a little bit with the fans in Toronto. If Marner doesn't at least score 90 points or more, he's getting chirped like hardcore. Mm-hmm. And I personally think Marner got tired of this, the way his Dan Ferris, his agent, who us Flyers fans have to worry about, because guess who's a client of Dan Ferris?
Ivan Provorov?
Morgan Frost.
Oh, geez.
So yeah, if Morgan Frost pans out to be anything, we'll have to worry about that in about 3 years after his ELC is over with. But Mitch Marner, he at the end of the day, I think he got what he wanted. He got good money, not as much as Austin Matthews. Like we heard all the reports that were out there, but $10.893 million. Where do I sign that contract? I could really use some of that. Um, but yeah, like you said, back up the brain trups, beep beep, because he's getting paid. Good for Mitch. At the end of the day, I definitely think he's the one who he let his agent and maybe his father get things a little bit out of control. Not that us Flyers fans know anything about fathers getting involved with contracts. Cough Lindros. But it's just finally something. They got it done. And at the end of the day, I personally think that when it got leaked out that he denied a 6-year, $66 million contract for 11 mil per season, fans went banana lands at him. And that's the one thing that the Marner camp had on their side was the Toronto fans. Then once that came out, the fans were you turned the fans against you. Now even Marner admitted at some point, like 2 weeks ago, he was walking his dog like in the park, and some group of kids who are like 12 years old said, "Sign your effing contract." And it definitely riled him a little bit. So I think eventually after he let Dan Ferris kind of squish his name in the mud a little bit, he just said, "Dan, shut the hell up. Kyle, I wanted to get this done. Let's meet like adults." And bada bing, bada boom, there was the contract. Then now Toronto, something cool about the Toronto Maple Leafs I think they're the only team you can say is their entire top 9 group of forwards are signed up for this year and next year. That's pretty, like, their window to win is like now, because in a couple years, Morgan Riley is due up in 2 years. After this season, Cody Ceci, Jake Muzzin, Tyson Barrie are all unrestricted free agents. So this is a very much Toronto's in a win now mode. Frederick Anderson, their starting goalie, who's been one of the best goalies in the league the past couple years, he's done in 2 seasons after this, not this season, but after 2021. I think Toronto is very forward heavy, but we've seen teams win that way. Look at the last 2 Pittsburgh Penguins Stanley Cup champion teams. Terrible defense, pretty good goaltending, and stacked forwards. And it seems that's what the Toronto Maple Leafs are doing.
I agree.
So, Matt, anything else to add about the Leafs? If not, I'm trying to think what else there is to talk about. I had something else in my mind, and now
I have a couple things.
I'm drawing a blank. But you can take the reins, my dear friend.
So, I think we have a couple guys on the more, I don't want to say ugly, but undetermined / could get ugly side of free agency in Mikko Rantanen and Patrick Laine, because an article came out this morning, where both players are represented by the same agent, and their agent was quoted saying, "We're not close. They're high-profile guys. There's nothing happened that we didn't know was going to happen. Nothing has gone on that we didn't anticipate. Both players are still in Europe, I guess, in their respective home countries."
Laine is skating with a Switzerland team.
Yeah, all right. But, so here, Rantanen said Monday he would join SC Bern in Switzerland to train while he remains without an NHL contract. And then Laine is with the same team. He's been there since Sunday. So, Rantanen was quoted saying he's going to get 1 day at a time. And then, due to the current situation, we can't make any long-term plans. They're actually leaving that team next week at the latest. So, I don't know. It seems, and there's been some drama with Patrick Laine. That's
there has
last couple of days where, I think that the gist of it is that he feels like he is entitled to more than he deserves because
damn millennial.
And it's one of those things where, I mean, I'm all for the players getting what they deserve, but I don't think Line should get what he thinks he should get because he didn't do all that well last year.
Like,
Granted,
yeah,
he
he
went
had.
on a tear for what, almost 25 goals in the month I believe it was November, and then after that he was really kind of
Poop.
pretty cold the rest of the season and was just kind of there and didn't really do much. Was almost invisible in the playoffs for the Jets. Like so, I don't know what's going on with him, but he's got to kick it in the butt and get her going and kind of straighten up a little bit. I feel like I sound like Don Cherry right now.
Oh, grapes, yeah. But another thing that interesting about Patrick Laine, he was quoted as saying that he feels he deserves a chance that he should be playing on the Jets' top line. And then Paul Maurice's head coach shot back and said, well, I wish I could play with Sidney Crosby, but I don't get what I want all the time.
Yeah, and I mean it's one of those things where, like, again, he feels like he should be playing on the line. Well, then show it on ice, and you will get those top line minutes, that top line time. Where it's like you're not like, um, he just looked lazy at some points, or like he just looked apathetic during the games. Like no hustle, no heart, like any of that. Like you hate to see it, but I mean guy the guy can only ask for so much money based off of what situation he put himself into by doing those kind of things. And then he's like, yeah, well, I want this much money because I should be up here. But again, on the other side, it's like, well, you're not up here, even though you should be. So we're gonna give you this, and you need to earn what you think you should get, which I agree with. But and then on the other hand, with Rantanen, he's kind of in a tough spot too because
Can I
the
interject real
McKinnon,
quick, though?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Winnipeg's another hard spot, too, because they still have to sign kind of Kyle Connor,
Yep.
who's their other big goal scorer, RFA, and I don't think they have room to sign both of them. But now with Rantanen, obviously, Colorado has all this cap space. Like they have enough money to sign him.
Yeah.
Just for some reason, they're not.
So the one thing I will say is that um, do you th- I can't see the Avs I think are in a tough spot with Rantanen because do you give him more money than McKinnon?
I mean, McKinnon is on arguably the greatest contract in hockey right now. He is getting
Basically,
way
yeah.
underpaid.
Oh
That's
yeah.
robbery for the Avalanche.
Yep.
Based on Rantanen's play, I mean, technically, yeah. Um, he only played. Well, he only played how many? Let me Miko
He played
Rantanen.
74 games last year.
And how many points did he have?
A career high 87, but Nathan McKinnon 99 points. So
I
I
mean,
mean,
if
but like you
Rantanen,
said,
if
McKinnon's
Rantanen,
contract is a steal.
yeah, if Rantanen played out, he only played 70 games. If he played the other 12 games, I believe if my mental math here is correct, I'm not a math guy, sorry. At 80 points in 70 games, if he played the other 12 games, that's at 96 points. It's a 96 point pace season. Um, and if you're a 96 point player, you're looking at, Mitch Marner money, like $11 million, $10 million in that area in
Yeah.
today's game. So yes, I mean, do the Avalanche want to pay him more than Nathan McKinnon, who is their best player? No. But does Mikko Rantanen deserve to be paid more than Nathan McKinnon? Yes. But because McKinnon should be getting paid more money than he is. It's a tricky situation, and I'm surprised it's gone on this long.
Yeah.
So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how things play out here in the future, because obviously Rantanen's a key part of that top line with Nathan McKinnon and Gabe Landeskog.
Yeah, and I mean they still have some time. It's just over halfway through September. Both teams have their first game October 3rd. So I mean they still have some time to get squared away, but I mean as of now it seems like it's a stalemate between both sides, between player and management. So I'm interested to see where it goes from here. But I have a lighthearted segment to end things here, if I may.
Oh,
Um,
take
uh,
Jesus,
I've
take the wheel.
I'm going to call it Jersey Watch because there have been multiple teams this summer that have come out with specialty and or alternate jerseys, and some of them are hot and some are not. So I'm going to start out with the hot, and I think the two hottest are the Calgary Flames and the Winnipeg Jets Heritage Classic jerseys.
Oh,
So,
I got beef with Winnipeg's. It's gonna be a hot take.
yeah, but oh, you have something to say about that?
I do.
Oh God, all right, lay it on me.
Stop, dear Winnipeg Jets. You are the Atlanta Thrashers. Stop wearing a current NHL franchise's past jerseys. You are the Winnipeg Jets Part 2, the Atlanta Thrashers. The original, the OG Winnipeg Jets are the Arizona Coyotes. Come up with something original for these classic games. The alumni of Winnipeg Jets games should be going to Arizona Coyote games because that's where the franchise relocated. Now, if the Winnipeg Jets original franchise disbanded when they relocated, cool. Then the new franchise can bring back the old uniforms. But no, no, no. The modern Winnipeg Jets, their throwback unis should be Atlanta Thrashers related because that is their heritage. That's where they came from. They were not they are not in the desert. They were down south in Atlanta, Georgia. And just I don't know why it bothers me, but it bothers me. Like it's not stop pretending that that's your heritage because it isn't. You came from a failed experiment in Atlanta, Georgia. Ran over. I know I'm probably in the minority with that thinking. The jersey itself is fire because those old Jet unis are magnificent. But like, stop, like Winnipeg, stop pretending to be something you're not, because the OG Winnipeg Jets left town because your crappy cold ass city didn't want to support a hockey team anymore, and they moved down to the desert in Phoenix.
Yes.
Rant over.
All right.
Calgary Flames jerseys, however, fuego, no pun intended.
Oh yeah. So all right, those are my first two for the hot category. No pun intended for the Calgary jersey. Another hot jersey. The St. Louis Blues will bring back their '90s Blues sweaters for a select game this season. The trumpet jersey, as I like to call it, where they have the trumpet logo on the shoulder of the jersey. Those are sweet. Um, my last contender for the hot jersey of the summer is Buffalo. Buffalo. Oh wait, there's two more actually. Sorry. Two more. We
We're
got
only human,
Buffalo
guys. We
with their 50th anniversary jersey. I believe they did it right. The Flyers' 50th anniversary jerseys were, but
just
could have been a lot better. Just let's maybe not throw gold where there should be white and call that the golden anniversary
it's like
jersey.
When you mess up and your mom goes, "I'm just not mad. I'm disappointed."
Yeah.
That's how I think Flyers fans felt about the 50th anniversary jerseys.
Yeah.
The Sabres did it right.
Yes.
That's an A+ on their report card.
Oh yeah. So those four are good. They're hot. The last one on my hot list is the Vancouver Canucks with the return of the retro black skate jersey. Very good, very good. From the Pavel Bure era. And then just like in the actual sport of hockey and the NHL, the Oilers did something bad and tried to make a nice jersey, and it looks horrible because it's basically the Flyers Stadium Series jersey and make that an Oilers jersey with Oilers colors and the Oilers crest on the front, and voila, you have that horrendous jersey that they're going to wear in front of the public and on probably national television. How are you going to do that?
See, the Flyers jersey is nice. because
I
they
just
threw
can't.
some
I
white in
can't
there
get
to kind
behind
of
this
offset
Oilers
all the
jersey.
black and orange. The Oilers jersey is just bleh. I would have stuck with their retro unis they wore last year for their alternates.
So tell me this. So here's the description for the Oilers jersey from Adidas and the team itself.
And we can throw pictures up of all these unis on the
Yeah,
Twitter after this podcast.
I don't even want to show people this Oilers jersey, honestly. But anyway,
Well, the people have a right to know.
all right, yeah. So it says fusing sport and culture. This special edition jersey features modern and futuristic design elements that create a clean, sleek, and bold new look. None of those things apply to this jersey, in my
Does
opinion,
it though?
because I mean, maybe like sleek can sound like slick because it's the Oilers and oil, but everything else just doesn't do it for me because, like I said, how like I don't, I
They're
don't
boring.
dig, I don't dig the two tone, just the solid two-tone jerseys, like especially with the Oilers, like you have like I mean, you only have like you have the colors, but like you have those like I don't know. Stick to the like for the Oilers, especially stick to the classics, like the Gretzky era, like orange, blue, and white ones. Even I don't know. Even make something different, but make something that's not this jersey because this jersey just looks like someone was like someone asked the Flyers for their series jersey, and it's like a meme where it's like, "Hey, I copy your work," and the Flyers were like, "Yeah, but make it look like you did yourself." So they changed the colors and the crest on the front of the jersey, and boom, they have a third jersey now. So like, I mean, come on, that is my complete front runner for the not in jersey watch.
We'll have to
And
post
then
up on Twitter
also
and Facebook later.
another one that I forgot to touch on that I'm not the biggest fan of, but I won't put it in the hot or not category. I'm going to put it in the indifferent category. Is
Indian like a
Carolina
medium
Hurricane.
roast.
Yeah, it's one of those like I had fun doing it, but I might not do it again. So, and it's the Carolina Hurricanes' new road uniforms
Oh, I like them.
with the canes in like the Rangers diagonal
Diagonal.
style. Yeah, I think they're all right, but I mean, I think just for consistency's sake, they should do that for the home jerseys, and
I
maybe they
agree.
will at some point. But I think that like the actual like hurricane logo, like the swirl, or even like the hurricane warning flag jerseys, those are cool. I like those. But I think if they're gonna use these diagonal canes jerseys as their road uniforms, then they need to make that switch to the home jerseys where they maybe absolve the logo from the front of the jersey and use it as just like a shoulder logo, and
Hmm.
then they have canes in like uh with like a black jersey and then like black and white or like black and lettering. I don't know. That's just me.
No, valid points. Valid points. I personally
So
like the Canes away sweaters.
I
Uh,
mean, I like them, but
they're better
again,
than they're better than the past away jerseys they had, if you ask me.
yeah,
But they're also kind of like, do you remember the old Tampa Bay jerseys? The old Tampa Bay jerseys that said bolts
yeah,
diagonally.
those are
Again,
cool.
that's like, let me see your homework real quick, but make it look like it was yours.
Yeah, but all right. So that brings me to the current alternates for the thing where it looks like someone spilled gray paint on a black jersey.
Oh yeah, where it fades from the black to like the light silver or gray. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
boring. They're not
that's
impressive. They're not impressive at all. They could have done a much
probably
better
why
job.
they got swept is because they're like, we don't want to wear this.
Yeah, right. But
So, but that wraps up Jersey Watch, and I
hot and
think
not
that wraps
brought
up
to
the
you by
podcast.
us.
Jersey Watch brought to you by NHL teams jerseys.
Yes, yes, indeed. We'll definitely post pictures up of those sweaters and ask for, of course, opinions of those on our Twitterverse and maybe our Facebook post, depending on if I can get my lazy butt to post on the Facebook. But definitely more of our attention's on Twitter, obviously. But Matt, I just think that runs. That's about it for tonight, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we will be, of course, like I mentioned earlier, we will be at the game Saturday night. Might do a little pre-game something for Facebook Live viewers since we kind of stopped our Facebook Live target audience. Maybe we'll give a little treat to that target audience real quick. A little game time preview after the roster drops. Maybe touch on that. But then we will be back for our next podcast. October. What is it? October. I have the flash schedule in front of my face. October 2nd. The first or the second, Tuesday or Wednesday with us is usually how it goes. But October 2nd, we will also be returning to once a week in October. But come October 2nd, we will be 2 days away, or less than 2 days away from the Flyers' home opener. Well, their first home game, but in the Czech Republic against the Chicago Blackhawks. That night, you will get our full season preview, what we think, predictions, our opinions on the lines, all that fun stuff we'll do that night on October 1st or 2nd. But Matt, anything to add in closing before we reconvene for us for the game Saturday and then, of course, for the future in early October?
I'm excited for some hockey.
Amen to that, brother. Short and sweet. But like I said, we will be back in 2 weeks, everyone. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And let's go Flyers.